Hello and welcome to
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to
Everything Entertainment.
And so today, sis, you are up first. So
Yes.
what do you have?
So what I would like to start is to talk about this movie that I watched on Netflix.
Okay.
It's gotten a lot of weird reviews.
Okay.
Some people like it. I liked it.
Okay.
Some people are like, this is against everything in the Bible and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to talk about on Netflix a movie called Mary.
Mary?
Mary.
Oh,
yes.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, so now this is a story of Mary up until Jesus' birth.
Okay. Not Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary.
Mary,
Okay.
yeah. Jesus' mama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And not Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
The other Mary.
No, not his girlfriend.
And not yet.
Not his girlfriend.
No.
His mama.
His mama. Okay, got it. Just making sure.
Yeah. So basically, what it is, like I said, it's the story of Mary's life up until Jesus was born. I mean, when it starts about her life, it's like it starts off with her dad. So it shows her dad. He's walking in the desert and he's crying and he's upset because all he wants is a child. So he prays for a child, right? While he's in the desert. What happens? Boom. Some dude in a blue, like robed and like flowy gown shows up and was like, hey, look, you're going to have a daughter, right? So you can chill. It's going to be okay. He was like, but when I come back to you, you're going to have to dedicate that daughter to God, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this guy was Gabriel,
Okay.
right? So then, you know, his name was Joaquin.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, yeah, I'm hype. He goes to his wife Anne. You see Gabriel. She's like, okay, I see this little light-skinned dude with gray eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to have a baby. Like, you don't get to know all the information, but that's basically the gist of it. Like, you see her, like, smiling, talking to him, and then when she sees her husband, they're all happy with each other, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to make a baby.
Okay.
So now he has to, like, once Gabriel comes back, you got to give your child to God. So it's like, now, is that going to be like giving her away like a sacrifice?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, nah, she's just going to live in his temple. Like, she's just going to be dwelling up there, right?
Okay.
So, then at this time, what's happening is Herod is running Judea. So he doesn't want anything about God being told, and definitely don't want nothing about the Son of God who's supposed to be coming, right?
Okay.
So he's actually turned the temple, because he's Roman, he's turned the temple into his own palace. Now he has idol gods and stuff everywhere, and the people are, the Judean people are now like, yo, we gotta do this because Herod's the king and he's crazy. Mm-hmm. So now we have to just go ahead and go with what he says every time he stands in front of this temple that we used to have as our holy place and smile and be so grateful for him. But we actually are serving God on our own on the side. Okay. So she gets at a certain age. So, you know, Mary's born. She gets a certain age, and I'm guessing it's probably the age of her becoming a woman. Okay. And then they're like, her dad's like, hey, look, so I got to tell you this. You got to go live at this temple. You can't see me and your mom no more. And, you got some things to do over there. So she's like, wait, what? Like, I don't want to go. And he's like, yeah, I don't have no choice. Like, this is what God said. And I'm just relaying the message to you. Yeah. Okay. And she's like crying. She's upset. So, you know, she gets there. She's angry, you know. Mm-hmm. She gets there and she was like, hey, look, y'all, I showed up. I'm here to give my life to God. I'm here. What you want me to do? And they're like, all right, cool. So we know that you got a purpose. Like they said, Gabriel came to us and said, yo, somebody's coming here. She about to be Jesus' mama. Like, so what I need you to do is make sure she's good. Give her, you know, her stuff. So she's there. She's basically like a handsmaid, like a chambermaid or whatever. She's a nun, but all she does is cook and clean and sew and, you know, forage and stuff like that. Wow. But she loves the garden, right? She loves being in the garden. So they have certain times they have to show up to class. Mary's always late to class.
Okay.
Now the guy who's in charge is like, yo, you can't show up late. When we say be here at this time, you're supposed to be here at this time. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, my apologies. And they're like, were you in the garden again? And she's like, and they're like, look,
she was.
Yeah, when we say you need to be here, be here. Another dude who I think had a little crush on her was like, hey, next time. But this is an old man, so it's not a situation. Okay. But it's like, hey, next time, just go to the garden a little earlier so you can make it here on time. And she's like, oh, okay. So now she is a little bit, she's like fighting back. Not really fighting back, but she's serving God as well as being able to do what she wants to do. Like, So she's like with all the girls hanging out. And then she looks and she was like, yo, this dude is just down here on his knees begging for food. Head down, hands out, like, please someone help me, please someone give me food. So then she looks, she sees none of the girls are eating their bread, and she just starts snatching it, putting it in a basket, and goes out and starts giving food to the homeless.
Okay.
And that people are seeing that, and what happens? The devil, he sees it. So now she is going and becoming more of a woman. Because, she's growing up.
Yeah.
And, one of her jobs is she got to go to the river to wash the clothes. So while she's there, she's washing the clothes. And what happens? This boy is across the river, sees her shawl fly away into the water. So he's like, oh, I'm going to go swim for it and get it for you. She's like, I'm good. I got it. You're weird. You just hopped into the river fully clothed to get something of mine, and I'm all the way over here. Like, nah, bro, you like chill out. He's like, well, just He's like, well, just tell me your name. She's like, I can tell you my daddy name, and she says, I'm such and such of Nazareth. So, come to find out, that dude is Joseph.
Oh,
her soon to be betrothed. So when they show him, he is actually out trying to hunt for fowl. So he sees a duck in the river.
Okay.
And as he's getting his little slingshot together, Gabriel pops up and was like, hey, look, I think that you would do better in the bin finding something to eat. And then he's like, hey, man, can you just move out the way? It's right there. He's like, no, go down the bin. Like, that's where you need to go and get your food. And that's when he sees Mary. So then it's kind of like, so it's like Gabriel's there, and then you blink, Gabriel's gone. Nobody thinks this is weird. Okay, that's what's up. I would be, like, hold on, where you go? Yeah.
It's like Terry on a cruise.
Absolutely. Not even on a cruise. Just Terry on vacation.
On vacation. Yeah. You just look, and 1 minute he's there, next minute he's gone.
Yep.
All
right. So, now, as this happens, Joseph is like, well, shoot, I know her dad's name. He just rolls up. Hey, yo, so you got a daughter. I'm going to be her next husband because I want to marry her. He's like, how do you even know my child? He was like, look, don't worry about that. But I'm going to marry her, and she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. He's like, my daughter's not even here. She's at the temple. So he's like, all right, well, it don't matter. I still want to marry her. So then the Mary's parents talk about him. It's like, okay, you're gonna marry him. Now Mary hasn't seen her parents in quite a few years. Her mom shows up while she's hanging clothes and is like, hey sweetie, how are you? So you gonna get married to this guy once you're done serving the Lord. And she's like, why do y'all keep making me do things I don't want to do?
Why is my life the sacrifice?
Why I gotta sacrifice? Because y'all wanted a baby. Now everything has to fall on me? I don't think so. So then from there, they go ahead and they meet, and she was like, why you look familiar? They're standing right there in the temple, and the cardinal or whatever is like, okay, these two people will be betrothed once she is done with her blah 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 blah.
Okay.
And so it's not actually a marriage ceremony, but it's kind of like a
commitment ceremony.
Commitment, yeah.
They're committed to each other.
Exactly.
So don't be acting up.
Exactly. So she's like, why? Like, how do I know you? He was like, I was at the river. She was like, you're the crazy boy at the river? Oh my God, my parents said I have to marry you. So he's just like smiling, cheesing. He's all happy and everything. But he is actually working on some stuff, building stuff for Herod.
Okay.
So he's gone. He ain't even around. What happens? Mary is praying and was like, look, Lord, you told me that I had to, like, serve you. Mm-hmm. And now I got to marry this dude. Is that also part of serving you? Because I need to know what's happening. Right. She falls asleep while she's praying. Who shows up? Gabriel. Gabriel's like, hey, psst, psst. Hey, you gonna have a baby, all right? She was like, how? I don't know no men up around here biblically. Yeah, they don't be like laying in my bed. Basically, yeah. So she's like, and then he's like, look, don't worry about that. He says, it's a quote that he says that I thought was really good. But
you
now I
can't
can't find it. Wait.
Need to know.
I can't find it.
Oh man. You might have to share it later then.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I can't find it. Anyway, so, he says, he was like, look, don't even worry about that because you're blessed among women. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, that's what women do. Their blessings are kids. You're going to be blessed. She's like, but I don't know nobody biblically. He's like, I got this. Don't worry about it. What happens? Now she's pregnant. Everybody's like, Mary, what's going on with you? You're glowing. She's like, I don't know. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then the main nun that's over top of her looks at her and was like, you're with child and we got to keep this a secret. You cannot tell anybody. And I know that this is part of what you have to deal with your life. And she's like, okay.
So did the nun think that this was a part
I think the nun might have talked to Gabriel too.
Oh, okay. And knew that, okay. Yeah. It wasn't that she was out here committing sin.
Yeah. No.
Biblically.
Yeah.
But she was, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
She won't in the dirt roads.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not the streets, but the dirt roads.
The dirt roads. I was like, wait, the dirt roads?
The dirt roads. All right, so now, as this is happening, the main guy, the bishop, the cardinal, whatever he is, he's like, yo, so I heard, Mary, that you pregnant. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, that's true. He's like, yeah, well, you got to go because you just broke your vow to God. Mm-hmm. And she's like, but you have to hear me out. He was like, I don't want to hear it. You got to go. She goes home. Tells her parents her dad is ready to beat her. He was like, you can get killed for this? They will stone you for this. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, I mean, I am still a virgin, bro. Right, this is an immaculate conception.
Right, which nobody has heard of.
Yeah, nobody's ever heard of. Well, nobody in the Bible has heard of. Yeah. So, therefore, he's like, look, you could get stoned in these streets. And as that happened, boom, 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 bang on the door. So he pushes her to the side. He goes and opens the door. He cracks the door. It's Joseph. Hey, yo, somebody told me my future wife is knocked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not the father. What's happening here? He was like, look, Mary ain't even here right now.
They didn't have a Maury Povich, did they?
No.
Okay.
But he was like, look, Mary ain't here right now. So we've been looking for her. When we find her, then we'll send word for you. Mary's like, who was that? Her dad was like, it's Joseph. He's upset. And she was like, well, I have to go find him. Of course, that's the woman running through the woods trying to find her lover type thing. Mm-hmm. So she's running through. What happens? Good old Lucy shows up, Lucifer, and was like, yeah. I call him Lucy. Okay. I call him Lucy. Okay. So Lucy shows up and he's like, hey, everybody, it's the harlot, the one who, betrayed God and blah, 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 and her child is blasphemy and blah, 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 blah. Terrible. And everybody is like, wait, what? And they look at her and they're like, stone her. So she's sitting there and then they find Joseph. Hey, look, that's that girl who she cheated on you, bruh. Go ahead and throw that stone at her. Show her how you feel. And he's looking around. He's like, nah, gets her, runs away.
Yeah.
When they run away, they go and they actually have official marriage with the family and everything. And then from there, people are still looking for them. Mm-hmm. Now, what do they have to do? They got to run off to Bethlehem.
Yeah.
They get to Bethlehem. And then what happens. You already know the rest. All the inns were full.
Manger.
Yeah, born in the manger. Yes. 3 wise men and everything. And they even had Herod was
incense, gold.
Yeah, but Herod was like, hold on, who are these 3 guys that's going to see some baby? Like, hold on, I don't understand that. Yeah. Like, explain to me why are they going to see this baby? Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's supposed to be the Son of God. By who?
Right.
It's like, oh, the girl who was in the temple that worked for you. It's like, what? Which one?
Not that girl.
No, because she was a virgin. Like, she was giving her life. No, it was her. So now everybody is upset. That's why They end up in Bethlehem. Baby Jesus is born, and then that's basically the end of the movie. It is good. It is a good movie.
Okay.
It's good. How did I say this earlier? It is a good dramatization or reenactment of how do I say this? Is a dramatization or reenactment of what Mary could have went through, but we don't know for sure.
We don't know. Yeah. And
opinionated depiction. There we go.
The way you were describing it made it sound like it's with today's terminology and all of that.
Oh, no. I just broke it down in my terminology. No, this is still
it's still back in the biblical times.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm just asking.
No,
I mean, be like, yo, bro. And I'm like,
maybe
they were saying bro. I don't know.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm just breaking it down.
Okay.
To help everybody understand it. Because if I'd be like, and then Gabriel said,
thou art.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Hence to therefore. No.
So but that is the reality of if you watch this, what you will see.
What you're going to see. You're going to see all of this stuff happen. I'm just breaking it down into Deandra-isms.
Gotcha. There's nothing wrong with that.
Which I make it seem more exciting.
It was very.
It is a great movie. It is a good movie.
Okay.
We can't say that it's fact. I don't know what it is. That's why I say it's an opinionated
Let's get that out.
Opinionated depiction.
5 times fast?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But if that is what happened to her, that's a good way that they made it seem. Like, you don't ever hear nothing about Mary in the Bible. Like,
no, they don't really talk about her story and how she felt and the judgment and
it's just like
all of that kind of stuff that goes along with
it's
it.
like,
which
hark.
Happened.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, so this is what's happening. Hark! You will have a baby and it will be born in a manger and you will call it, I, the great I am. And it's like, where did these people come from? So,
yep.
Yeah, that was my little rundown.
I like. Okay.
Of Mary on Netflix.
Mary on Netflix.
Yes.
All right. There we go.
Sorry it took so long.
But, no. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff
yeah.
for sure. So there's a lot to cover. So, all right. Well, I'm going to talk about Day of the Jackal on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
So
that's what it's called? I thought it was just called the Jackal.
I think it's Day of the Jackal is what I wrote down.
So, it just says Jackal really big.
Yeah, really big on the screen, but it is officially called, the Day of the Jackal. So it's the long name, The Day of the Jackal.
Oh,
That's the full name. So, but yes, it is a story about Eddie Redmayne's character, who is the Jackal. And I will go through a few more people. I didn't really know a whole lot of the cast, but you have Lashana Lynch as Bianca Pullman. So she is the police officer who is looking for the Jackal. You have Eleanor Matsura, who is playing Xena. You have Chuck Woody, who is playing Osita. It's a whole lot of names in here.
I was about to say, what we should do? We should definitely get AI to say these names for us.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. You have Leah Williams playing Isabel Kirby. You just have a lot of different people. A lot of the actors in here, personally, I felt like I really didn't know. But I'll just say that. So Paul Pittman was played by Sully Remy, and Florisa Kamara was played by Jasmine Pullman. So you had basically the mom being Bianca Pullman, who was the cop. Okay. So you have this mother cop. So they had two storylines. They had the Jackal storyline and they had the female black police officer storyline, who is, I guess she's an FBI agent looking for the Jackal. Okay. But she has her own storyline going on as well. So what ends up happening is that her husband, Paul, and her daughter, Jasmine, they are actually like basically a unit, like the husband and the daughter have to be around each other so much because the mom actually is always chasing the Jackal. So if you ever looked at Lioness and you were looking at Zoe Saldana and she's always leaving her husband and leaving the kids and off and I'm in Paris
she got a job to
now
do.
I'm in London and now I'm here now. That is exactly what this, mother is doing. And so
she's playing the male role.
She is playing, I guess, what is typically cast.
Yeah. No, not cast, but I'm just saying, like,
the male
life,
role in the relationship. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Because the wife has the kids and she has to stay home with the kid, and the husband goes and travels and does what he has to do.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So it's not that nuclear family. Yeah. So, but in regards to the show, because it was 10 episodes, I believe. Let me make sure that's right. 11 episodes. No, 10 episodes. It's weird. It says 11.
It's probably 10 in a like a bonus breakdown.
It's weird because it says stuff. Eddie Redmayne is in 11, but everybody else is in 10. So I don't know what that's about, but let's say 10 episodes. Yeah. So, but it starts off with this guy, the Jackal, who is an exceptional sharpshooter, right? Mm-hmm. Like he can shoot somebody literally from almost 3 miles away. Like it is insane. And and it's shooting people in such a way that people are just saying, no, it's not even humanly possible that somebody can do that. There's not even a gun powerful enough to do that. And lo and behold, he figures out a person who can make a gun powerful enough to do that. So, but it starts off with this guy who is old, and you just see him like dead in a chair, and you're just like, oh man, that's sad that this poor dead guy is, sitting in this chair. And then all of a sudden you look, and the dead guy is looking at the same dead guy. So it's the same face. And you're like, how is the guy walking around looking exactly like, is this a twin brother? Like, what's going on as to how he's looking at it? Yeah. But it's Eddie Redmayne, who is so good with prosthetics that he actually made himself look like the guy that he had killed.
So, and then that way the CCTV, what is it called?
CCTV, right. Well, what happened is that he needed to break into this facility. Mm-hmm. So he had to kill the guy, take over his persona. And when I say persona, it was his voice, his walk, his mannerisms, everything. I don't know how long he had to watch this guy in order for him to pick up on all those things. But when security asked him a question, he was answering in whatever it was, I don't know, German, something like that. Like he took on this guy. Then he got in there looking for what he looks for. Of course, things start going haywire. Things blow up. People get shot, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. But for the most part, that's kind of how it starts off. So it's not like a slow going movie or TV show. It kicks off. Then they show him shooting somebody. I mean, and the methodicalness of him shooting to the point that he has, because I was wondering why you would take a little, what is the thing called that spins when the wind blows? The people put in their yards.
You have to have that so those wind speed for the bullets.
Right.
You don't watch a lot of military movies or anything about shooting.
I don't really know. So anyway, they had that going on. So he's in this building, the window's open, he's got that going, a little wind, I was going to say windmill, but it's not a windmill, a little wind.
I don't even
know what they're called, but there's something called them. But anyway.
I'm Googling.
So what ends up happening is that he's like waiting for this guy to show up, and the guy's in the car, and they're just waiting, and then finally the guy gets out of the car. And when I tell you, because it's almost 3 miles away, he had to shoot, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then it kills the person. Like, it's that far away, which is crazy. What is it called?
Is it the weather vane?
No, that's the thing that's like on the buildings that
turns. Oh, okay. So
no, I'm not talking about that.
Are you talking about the one that looks
the little teeny ones that they're like people put in their yards, and it's like kids play with and you blow it.
Oh, I didn't know. I wasn't thinking about
that.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing, like that little one. So y'all know what I'm talking about.
The little spin wheel.
Yeah, the little spin wheel things, not the weather ones. But anywho, so he ends up shooting this guy. But you thought that he was almost going to miss, because what ends up happening is that he shoots, and like you said, you're waiting. The guy that's gotten out of the car, he's walking towards the building. He gets through the revolving glass door, and as he's making it through the door, that's when the bullet gets him. And you're like, how could he shoot him from that far away, getting through the revolving door of the building? Like, he thought he was home free probably
That's
at that
like
point.
that movie back in the day, Wanted, where they were shooting
around
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I remember
shooting
that.
like into like riding on a train, shooting directly into a building to hurt somebody that's on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. That's impressive.
Yep. So it's really just all about the Jackal, him escaping capture multiple times, him escaping death multiple times. It is very high death tolls in this show?
Yeah.
Because he's an assassin.
He's going around killing people.
He is somebody, it's like one of those things that as you're watching it, you're like, I guess I should be rooting for him, but he's a bad person. And then you realize that he like has a life outside of this assassin role. So it really is like a 3-parter now that I think about it, because then you have his wife and her whole family and that whole storyline, which is crazy. So, and then, like I said, you have Bianca's storyline in regards to her being the federal agent and her, like, when you talk about being hyper fixated on something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she is like a dog with a bone. And they're like, Bianca, you got to let this go. And she's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, no, I mean, you are being insubordinate. You have to let this go. And she was like,
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay,
that's cool.
Whatever. Like,
I'll
do
take
you want
that.
my gun? Like, what do you want?
Yeah, you
like,
take my gun. I'll just go and
take
buy
my
another
badge,
one.
do whatever,
And then
like,
I'll
go to
just
that.
find the Jackal myself. Yeah.
But it's like so insane, like to the point that her family is just like, can we see you? Can we talk to you? Can you let us know you're alive? Like all of those things. And she is, what I came to realize, and actually Toby and I were talking about this, shout out Baby Bones, is
Baby Bone.
is that she and the Jackal are exactly the same. As meticulous as he is about killing, and the time and the dedication and the effort, this man would hold up in a spot for
days
if he had to.
Yeah, I get that.
Peeing in a soda can or whatever. Like whatever he has to do to get the job done. And she's exactly the same. Like whatever she has to do to catch who it is that she wants, they have that same drive, determination.
But isn't that I feel like that isn't that a psychological thing? Don't you know that? Something like that? Like people who are sociopaths or like make the best serial killers, and then the best it's something like they make the best serial killers, but then they also make the best
police officers or investigators.
Yes, because they think differently.
Yeah.
By any means necessary is their thought process.
That is definitely the case for sure. So, but you find out that, you know, like everybody is calling him Charles and Charles this and Charles that. Well, you find out that's not even his name. His wife, you just are like, does she know? Does she not know? So it goes through a whole storyline that he has a baby. Like it's all this kind of stuff. And you're like, wow, this guy is like a multi-international assassin. And comes home to a wife and kid like everything's normal and okay, and goes into secret little spots in the house that like, oh, guns are underneath the floorboard here. Oh, a huge gun wall is over here behind the mirror, which she's standing in, you know, getting dressed, and there's a big gun wall behind that. You know, like all these different things that are going on, and you're like, wow. And so it's
the things that assassins would have.
Right. Exactly. But, you know, for the cop, you know, she has the whole situation with her daughter, like being in school. And I think she's like old enough that she'll be graduating, not in right away, but like, you know, those prom
But like
things.
she's old enough that she knows what's going on.
You got
and knows,
homecomings and all that. And, oh, I'm getting ready to get, you know, some honor society thing.
Yeah.
And
I wish
like,
my mom was here to help me pick my prom dress.
Maybe mom says she's going to be there. Mom doesn't show up. You know,
I mean,
I
figured that.
You know, so.
It's like, I'm not even going to ask mom.
Exactly.
Dad, come on, just give me your credit card. Let's
go. But it takes you on a journey. It's really good in my opinion. It gives you the backstory of him and how he even got into the assassin business.
Okay.
While in the army.
Oh yeah.
So that's interesting.
When I was younger, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the army and then be an assassin. But not an assassin for like just an assassin just killing random people, but like an I'm sorry, not assassin, a sharpshooter for the military. Like be the one that's like, okay, I have my eye on the trigger, I have my eye on the target.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to do that.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know if that's something you admit to, that I wanted to be an assassin and just kill random people for money.
No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I wanted to do it for the part of the government was like, Yeah.
Okay.
Or if the
Y'all
CIA
see how
asked me
she's
to do
clearing
it.
up
Or if
now.
the CIA asked me to do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like for your country.
Yeah,
So,
I would be brainwashed, so it wouldn't matter.
oh my goodness, you would have to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I will say that Eddie Redmayne does a really good job. I don't know, he's a weird guy to me. Like I don't know what it is about him that some people are for now sick, actor, but I'm just like he's just a little weird to me. So for me though, what I found was that him playing this character of an assassin one moment, but then he has to be like a regular person the next moment, right? So it's like, oh, I'm an assassin. You can see the intensity of him being an assassin. Then he's like, oh, I'm going to get a cup of coffee. Hey, I'm regular Joe.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
And then it's like, oh, now it's that I'm impersonating this other person. I have a whole different accent, and then it goes to him being at home with his family and you're seeing him kissing all on a baby. And you could just see, like, it was almost like his face was changing.
Yeah, because
his expressions were changing with the different.
But that's crazy because he is an actor he's an actor that is playing a role of him acting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so
that's
you have
depth.
You have to have that depth to be able to say, okay, I'm not only being the actor doing this role, but I'm being the actor being in multiple roles at one time. So I'm an actor who's playing a character who's playing another person.
I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That is exactly what it was. Look at Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, our DJ.
Our DJ. So yeah, what was that called? Thunder? What?
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Right. So anyway, so that was it. I just wanted to share a little information about Day of the Jackal. I thought that it was really good. If you don't like movies with a lot of body count, this is probably not the movie for you. Right. But if you like something that is deep,
body count is something different now. So
no, I'm.
You gotta watch how
a lot
you word
of people
things.
being murdered.
Yes.
Then this is not for you. However, if you like something that's a little suspenseful, puts you on your edge a little bit, you're wondering, is he going to? Is he not going to? How did he turn out like this? What's going on with her? Is her and her family going to stay together? Is she going to catch him? Is he going to elude her? Who is he going to kill? All of those things.
Okay. Then, you like the suspense thriller type thing?
If you like that.
Action, suspense, thriller.
Mm-hmm. Do they have that face off? And if they do, who survives?
I like that. I'm with it. Now, was it just a limited series? Can there be a season 2?
There can definitely be another season. Okay. 100%. So, yeah. But all right, there you go. That's what I have. So, Day of the Jackal on Peacock. So, what you got?
So what I have is on Hulu. How to Die Alone.
How fun.
Yeah. Now, this is a comedy. You have Natasha Rothwell, who plays Melissa.
Okay.
Conrad Rickamora, who plays Rory, who is Melissa's best friend.
Okay.
You have Joko Sims, who plays Alex, who is Melissa's boss, but also kind of like a love interest in there. You have Keelan Darrell Jones, who plays Terrence, who is Melissa's coworker, but also could be a potential love interest. You have Michelle McLeod, who plays Patty, who is Melissa's coworker, but they hate each other. Okay. So those are the main people that you need to know. Okay. That's all you need to know as of right now. So what this is a story. It's a TV show. It is a woman. It's about a woman, and she's a very, woman who's down and hard on herself. She works a job at the airport and is trying to figure out her life, like we all are. So she has I won't say near death. She died on her birthday. And then when she wakes up, she's in the hospital. And she finds out, oh yeah, you were dead. She was like, I was dead. They were like, for 3 minutes. And she was like, oh, on my birthday. And they're like, the doctor looks at the nurses and is like, happy birthday. And she said, no, stop singing happy birthday.
Don't sing me happy birthday after I'm
died. So that's what I'm saying. It's comedy into it. So it kind of made her reevaluate her life.
Okay.
So in the hospital, you have that curtain divider in the hospital. So her hospital roommate was an older black lady who was just giggling and laughing after the nurses left out. She was like, "Ooh, I didn't think you had it in you." And she was like, "Excuse me?" And she was like, "No, I'm just saying, like, I'm proud of you. You stood up for yourself. Like, I thought you were just, here to just let go and die. And then they have a conversation back and forth. And basically she kind of gives her some inspiration and kind of talks her into being the person that she knows she wants to be. So, with her working at the airport, she has never taken a flight. But she watches people live their dreams and go on vacations, travel to see family and friends. And she's like, she's scared of everything. I'm scared of a boat. I'm scared of flying. I'm scared of this. I don't even drive. Things like that. And people are like, yo, you're such a great person. You bring such light into people, lives. You deserve this. She was like, oh, not on this salary. I don't think so. So, what she ends up doing is she realized that she can't keep living life stagnant. And she realizes that everything that she is scared of, just because she's scared of something doesn't mean that it's not for her.
Yeah, exactly. You got to step out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. So then she changed her life, and then she starts to do more things for herself, like spend more time on herself.
Okay.
And does a whole bunch of different things that she's wanted to do, things that she's scared to do, things that she needs to do. And it works out good for her. Now she does have a love interest, like I said, but then she might have two love interests. Ooh.
Scarlet?
Yeah.
Harlot?
And then Scarlett.
Scarlett.
Johansson. Okay.
That's exactly what I said. Scarlett. I was like, Johansson?
She's who I was going to talk about before this one.
Oh, too funny.
But she battles with, she gives all of herself away, but she battles with being loved. And the thing is she's not just battling with being loved romantically, but also in friendships.
Okay.
So it's like how the show talks about you can learn from strangers.
Yep.
And learning from other people's experiences. And then it does kind of touch on some family stuff where it's everybody has family issues, but you can get over it.
Yeah.
Type thing. But I like the show. It reminds me of myself, but not the death.
Yes.
And not the not flying.
No.
Or being on a boat.
Or doing this, or doing that, or doing this. Yeah. But so in regards to that, is it a 30-minute series?
Yeah.
Every episode's 30
minute
okay.
comedy
thinking.
little thing on Hulu. Let me see how many episodes it is. It is 8 episodes. And you go through it quick, and I think they did a great job about this. I can't wait for the next season to come out.
Okay.
I'm excited about it. I want to know what she does next.
Ah, gotcha.
Mel, what you about to do?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and what was it called again?
It's called How to Die Alone.
How to Die Alone. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about the Peacock movie Conclave.
Conclave, that's the one with the Pope.
With the Pope, the priests and archbishops, and I can barely
the
get
rooks
anything
and the
else.
knights and the pawns.
Yeah. So it is a thriller mystery, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
for
I heard that it
be
was
based out at the Vatican.
Yeah.
But really interesting. Number one, been to the Vatican. Did you know? Interesting tidbit that the Vatican is its own country that can get a stamp on your passport.
That is awesome.
Yep.
They should probably do that for Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
Poor D.C.
So, yeah.
Poor D.C.
I
But
know.
But no, I think you did tell me that. Yeah.
Yep, it is in Rome. However, it is considered its own space and place. So therefore, they don't have a place where you can get it stamped, unfortunately. But it is a place that you can mark off on a map of all the countries that you visited.
I would want a stamp.
Is one of them.
Can we make a stamp? Let's go sell stamps.
Well, here's the thing. No,
in the Vatican.
I know I'm getting totally off track, but with passports, if you have a stamp from a place that says that they can stamp your passport, even though it's not really a place, or it is a place, but it's not an official place, then it will invalidate your entire passport.
Oh.
So we don't want to do that. So yeah, there's that.
Let me talk to
because if
Rome
it is found, because I didn't even know that was a thing, but somebody literally was trying to get on a flight, and they were like, "Why do you have a stamp from Tulsa, Oklahoma?" And they were like, oh, they just had this cute little passport. Yeah, it's invalid now. You can't go out of the country. And it's like, seriously? I'm literally getting on the plane right now. And yeah.
So I would be
livid. Exactly.
Because you wouldn't know that unless,
No, and the people who are stamping it probably know.
Do they give you that information when you get your passport?
I am not familiar.
You know what? It's probably in all those pages of the passport that nobody reads.
There's nothing written on those pages. It's just multiple pages in the back so that you can, depending on how passport heavy you are, you get all those pages. What about the pages in the front
where it's like, we are the people?
It's a little bit of words, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was like, oh, maybe it's in that. See, look, you ain't even paying attention.
Back to the Conclave. So what it is that, let me go through the cast. So you have, this is a stellar cast, by the way. Like,
absolutely.
Everybody in it. So you have Rafe Fiennes, since it's not Ralph, Rafe Fiennes. So he plays Cardinal Thomas. You have Carlos Diaz, who plays Cardinal Vincent. Isabella Rossellini, who plays...
Love her.
I know.
Love
she plays
her.
Sister Agnes. You have Stanley Tucci.
Oh, love him.
I know. He plays Cardinal Aldo. You have John Lithgow.
Oh, okay.
Yes, who plays Cardinal Joseph. Like, it's
everybody's a senior citizen that's like, you want to give them a hug.
Exactly. You have, I don't know if you would know his name, but Brian O'Byrne, you've seen him before. He plays O'Malley. You have Lucien Satati, who plays Cardinal Joshua. And then I'll just name one more cardinal. You have Sergio Castellito, I think I said that right. And he plays Cardinal Goffredo. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so it is such an interesting thing when it comes to a pope dying. And so, it's a process. And so it starts with the current pope passing away, and all the cardinals are kind of coming together. And they're coming from everywhere around the world. So you have popes coming from Brazil, not popes. You have bishops and cardinals and different people coming from everywhere. They even had one that came from, I think it was like, not Pakistan, where was it? It was somewhere, Syria, somewhere that is war going on. But like that one came as well, like a bunch of them. So anyway, they all come together to vote for a new pope. So the movie is not only about that process, but it's also about things that people probably wouldn't expect when it comes to the competitiveness of these priests when it comes to being the pope.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of showing like behind the curtain kind of situation of when that happens. And you're thinking, oh, these are all priestly men. And of course that they would do everything on the up and up and not throw anyone under the bus and not try to find people's dirty little secrets and not try to do... But all these
We're talking about the Catholic Church, right?
And we're talking about the highest position in the church.
Yeah,
it's just interesting. So, as an example, the John Lithgow character, as soon as the Pope dies, everybody's like, oh, he's doing the most. Why is he so thirsty for this job? Like, he is doing everything possible to ensure that he's the next pope, even to the point of saying, the Pope, I was the very last person to speak with him before he died. And then I was thinking to myself, did you kill him?
Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. I was thinking, like,
which pillow did you use to suffocate the Pope?
Exactly. And then there was this whole brouhaha because it became, oh, somebody overheard the Pope say to him that he would never recommend him to be the Pope that night before he passed away. So now it's like,
maybe you did kill him.
So the guy, basically, Pope Thomas, or excuse me, Cardinal, I keep wanting to call everybody Pope. Cardinal Thomas, which is Ralph Fiennes' character, he's the one who is like highest in command.
Okay.
He is up for being the Pope.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it. He's like, I really don't want that smoke. Y'all can keep it. Like, I thought maybe I might possibly, but I don't know if I'm worthy, right? So Stanley Tucci, he's up for it too. Cardinal Aldo, he's like, look, I don't think I want that smoke either. Just give your votes to somebody else. We're good. And Lithgow's like, give them to me. give them to me. I'll take them all. You give them to me. Like, and it's just like hilarious, right? And so you also have Cardinal Joshua, who is a black cardinal, and he is up for the votes as well. And then you have Cardinal Vincent, which Cardinal Vincent really wasn't up for it at first. Cardinal Vincent is, I think, Hispanic. And he was like, I'm voting for you, Rafe Fiennes. You are going to be my Pope, like, no matter what. And Rafe is like, will you stop? Just don't. Like, we keep having these votes, trying to figure out who's going to be the Pope. And I just, don't give it to me because you're just helping to, break it down. Like, how are we going to get to a consensus if everybody is splitting their votes every single time, voting the exact same way? So don't give it to me, give it to somebody else. Yeah. And Cardinal Vincent was like, look, of everybody who's a candidate, you're the one I want. Maybe you can talk other people out of voting for you, but you're not talking me out of it. I'm voting for you. Like that kind of thing. And he went off. He like screamed at him and everything. It's kind of hilarious. But anyway, so every day, people come out to the Vatican while the Pope while they're trying to figure out what's going on for a new Pope. And all of the votes that are taken for that day of all of the bishops and cardinals and everybody who comes, they go into the smoker, basically, and the smoke comes out the stack. Yeah, and if it's white or whatever, then they still haven't made a decision.
Yeah, I do remember
So you hear all the people, right.
Because they did that.
Yep, exactly. Yes. So you hear all the people that say, oh, no, not today. All right, we don't know who the new Pope is today. And then, oh, we don't know who the new Pope is today, right? And so they're getting to the point that they're like, look, y'all, if we don't pick a new Pope after all these days, people are going to lose faith in us.
Yep.
We have to come to some kind of consensus, or else the person who's going to be put into the position of Pope isn't going to have any level of authority, because they're going to be like, half the people ain't want you anyway, because you would have gotten in there faster. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's like one of those things. So then all this drama starts coming out. You find out who may have gotten somebody pregnant and maybe has a child out there already right now. So that comes out. Somebody else breaks into the Pope's room when it's supposed to be like, it's like basically they put this thing on it, like a ribbon over it for a certain amount of mourning until the new Pope gets in their position. And so somebody breaks in, goes in there.
Just the room, like his body's not.
No, his body's gone. But yeah, just the room. Just
it decomposes.
Yeah, and they had to take off his signet ring and things like that. So they have that whole ceremony. They showed all of that, and putting the robing over him and all that kind of stuff. Then you have Isabella Rossellini's character. So she's like the head nun, and she's just like stomping her foot like, man, if y'all get y'all ex together,
right, exactly.
Like, come on. Well, she's very frustrated at the head guy anyway, because he's going around asking a whole bunch of questions about stuff. And she's just like, can you leave well enough alone and leave people alone? And this nun came from a whole other parish. She's here. People are making accusations now against her. And she's like, leave my nuns alone. Like, that has nothing to do with y'all. And he's like, no, it doesn't. You're going to have to lead a room because I'm the highest ranking person in this place, So it's all those kind of dynamics that are going on. And I'm like, this is drama. This is serious drama. So the process does take a lot longer than what they expect. And at the end, they finally get to the point of where they have a successor. However, when I tell you who the successor ends up being at the end of this, and the drama that can create in the Catholic Church, because it was like literally after the vote got taken and everybody was in consensus, right? Then it became, okay, great, we can burn it and the smoke will go up and everybody knows. So, they hadn't burnt it yet. But then somebody says, hey, I got something to tell you about our new Pope that I just found out. And he was like, oh, okay. And that news is like, drop the mic.
See?
So, yeah. And then what happens? They end up burning it. The smoke goes up.
Make
Everybody
Isabella
now.
Rossellini the female pope.
Then everything happens where, and it literally ends too with, that the decision being made. So that way, at least a decision was made. So.
Okay, well, that's good.
But I know I gave, some things here and there about it. The story gets so much deeper than what I've shared. And you kind of have to know that it's all about the conclave. The conclave is the name of the process of assuming who's the new pope, right? So that's what they call it. It's a conclave. You're voting in the conclave. And so therefore, that at some point they're going to have to name who is the successor. But it was good. And one part, actually, in all honesty, the last part that was the mic drop made me bust out laughing.
Oh, really?
Like, that's how, it was like, so like, what? That is hilarious.
Okay.
So anyway, that is it. Conclave on Peacock. So that's the last thing I have, sis. What do you have?
All right. So my last thing that I want to talk about is Fly Me to the Moon, the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's on Apple TV. Yeah, I don't know all those words. That's all I know. Jupiter and Mars. That's how I have it.
Jupiter and Mars.
Yeah. Good old Blue Eyes. Do you know?
Okay.
You know the whole song?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, I was just going to sing it in the background.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So the lead character, the lead characters is Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett, see?
Scarlett.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, who plays Kelly Jones, who is a big time. What is it? A media
PR.
Yeah, I guess PR. Like a marketing specialist.
Okay.
A marketing superstar, let's say that. You have Channing Tatum, who plays Cole Davis, who is a man who wanted to be a astronaut, but because of his health, he could never be an astronaut, so now he just works with the astronauts. You have Woody Harrelson, who plays Mo Burkus, who actually just worked for the President Nixon. Okay. You never know anything about him. He just pops up. He is like Gabriel, just popping up, and then you turn around, he's gone away. Okay. You got Ray Romano, who plays Henry Smalls, who works with Cole Davis, who is Channing Tatum's his character. Some other people you don't really gotta know, actually. Okay. I mean, it's well, no, you gotta know her. Anna Garcia, who plays Ruby Martin, who is the assistant for Kelly Jones, who is Scarlett Johansson. Okay. All right, so what this is I don't know if you ever saw the interview of Buzz Aldrin when he was asked by, I think, like Jimmy Fallon or somebody, or Conan O'Brien was like, hey, so did we really see the moon landing? And he was like, no, that was all like a reenactment. I don't know that was real. That was fake. It was staged. Mm-hmm. You know that how everybody's like, the moon landing was fake. Yeah. The moon landing was fake to an extent. They made a fake moon landing because they didn't know if the real moon landing was supposed to show up on, with their top secret huge camera that they had to shove on this spaceship. Yeah. So now this is now the Apollo 11 mission. Now Cole Davis was actually working with the ones for Apollo 1 that did explode. Oh, okay. And killed those three, whatchamacallit. So he is now like trying to perfect each and everything. And when I say that, I mean, he becomes almost kind of like an a-hole to how he wants things to be ran. Why are we standing around? Why aren't we getting into work? We only have this amount of time. We have to do this. Mm-hmm. Now, Mo Burkus pops up to Scarlett Johansson's character. She's sitting at a bar. She had a big deal that she had to close in the very beginning. This big deal that she had to close was like, man, it was about Mustangs. Okay. Because when the cars first came out, you had the Nova and you don't know. No. All of the muscle cars back then did not have seatbelts. Oh, okay. The Mustang came out and had a seatbelt.
That was the big deal.
So the marketing was, well, she asked the three guys, hey, what do you drive? And she was like, you know what? Actually, I know you drive a Mustang because you're single. Goes to the next guy. What do you drive? She said, ooh, a Lincoln Town Car, huh? Because you got a family. And then looks at another one and is like, oh, and you drive a station wagon and blah, 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 because you have this many kids and blah, 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 blah. And the guy is just like, how do you know all this information? And she was like, what? Oh, no. He said something else to like belittle her. And she was like, well, you know what would sell the Mustang better than anything else? She was like, when a wife says, honey, you should buy the Mustang. And he's like, what? She's like, yeah, because she's like, with me and my husband, I would be so afraid that he would drive off in one of those sports cars and would not come home to me safely. But with these seatbelts, he will. So every wife will say, honey, I would feel much safer if you got the Mustang. And they were just like, oh my God, you're a marketing genius. So from there, Mo Burkus, what does he do? He shows up and he puts a whole pin in that and it's like, yeah, so you know this big balloon that you had? Yeah, I just popped that because you're not doing that anymore because you're coming to work for the president. And as he's saying that, it's because of something else that she did into the thing. I'm not going to talk about what it is. But that's how she ends up losing that contract. And he's like, okay, what do you work for? He was like, all right, so I work for the president's office. And she was like, okay, but who? He said, the president.
Yeah,
like
not the president of like
GM exactly.
Motors or something. Like
and he's just like, all right, here's my card. Give me a call. You know, we need you. So Cole Davis is not too happy about hearing about a marketing genius coming to help put money to help towards the Apollo mission. He's like, this is going to hinder us. This is going to make us so much more behind. There's no way possible that we can have this person around here. Goes and gives her office. You would have thought she was a black lady because they gave her an office that was a storage room. And it was like, do what you got to do with it, but this is your office. What does she do? She gets the guys who are working for him, because the guys that work at NASA, hey, I want a window right here.
Yeah.
And now the guys who work for NASA, who build spaceships, are putting a window in her office.
Nice.
And he's like, he comes in and he's like, look, we can't do. Oh, I know what she does. She's talking to him about it. And she's like, hey, we need to put a face. So these people need to know the faces of, the people that are going to space. They need to be likable. Where there are like, laws going into place where they have to vote on, and they're going to see where this money is going to go to. If you wanted to go here, then we need you all to be face. And he's like, we don't do interviews. None of my guys do interviews. What does she do? She gets trained actors to get on TV and pretend like they are one of the guys that are going to go? Not the astronauts, but the guys who are working on the stuff.
On everything.
So one of the guys is like, Ray Romano's character is like, hey, that's not me. And then Tatum's like, that's not you. So then that's why he's so upset. So when he goes into the room where she has this window being built by these, high-tech engineers.
Yeah. Probably making $100,000 at that time.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, what are you doing? And she's like, you lied to the world. You said that this was my guy and it's not my guy. She said, well, you did tell me that your guys don't do interviews. So I had to improvise. Mm-hmm. So, and then he was like, I don't understand. And he looks at one of the guys. He said, I swear if you nail another nail into that wall, I will throw you through it. They all put their stuff down and they leave.
So what, you just got an open space now and no window?
No, the window's there. They just hadn't fully finished it. And then she was like, yeah, look at that view. He was like, yeah, it's better than mine. Anyway, and he's mad. Deal.
Yeah. And why didn't I think of that?
Well, no, I don't even think that's what it is. I think it was the whole fact that I tried to give you a lemon and you made lemonade. Yeah. Now that makes me feel some type of way. Mm-hmm. So now that she is doing all this marketing, now Mo Burkus comes back and was like, hey, so about the marketing, I need you to step it up a bit. What do you know about directing films? And she's like, I got a guy, but why? He's like, oh yeah, so we got this nice camera that we're going to put on the spaceship. Mm-hmm. Cole's like, no, you're not. He's like, yes, we are. So with this camera, it's going to, he's telling both of them together, this camera is going to make it to where you can see everything that's going on. We'll be able to talk back and forth. Everything will be great. And like he's like, okay, so I just had to figure out how to put enough food on here for these people. Now you want me to remeasure and recalculate in order to take this big, heavy, lugging camera up there? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yes, that's what the president said. You know, he's like,
you got to figure it out.
Okay,
yeah, the president said it.
So after that, he's pissed off. He's going out. And he's telling the guys, all right, erase that. We got to start all over again. Mm-hmm. And he looks at Scarlett Johansson. It's like, hey, so about this. Yeah, we don't know if it's going to work. So what I need you to do is get a director, get some people together, and we are going to fake the moon landing. Now, with Scarlett Johansson being the big marketing specialist that she is, she knows all the people who do commercials.
Okay.
So she gets one of the guys who is the most flamboyant, fabulous person in the world. Love him. You know the actor, but I can't think of his name right now. Okay. Anyway, but she gets him, and he's like, he walks in and he has on his big hat, his big wide brim hat, tilted to the side a little bit. He looks like he should be on the runway in Milan. Oh, I love it. Tilted to the side some with this big coat on that's just over his shoulders, with a suit that's very colorful that ties. It doesn't button. It ties on the side. Ooh, right. Okay. With nice slacks and some nice white, probably Ferragamos. And he's like, okay, what do I have to work with? And she was like, here is the warehouse. Make it into the moon. He said, what's my budget? She said, $500,000 less than what you need. He said, let's make magic. So now he's asking, okay, where are my actors? She brings up people that are like probably in the Secret Service, CIA, something like that. They all have earpieces, sunglasses, black suits, look like Men in Black.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's like, okay, so when I said, where are my actors? This is what you gave me. She said, I gave you minions. You have to, do what you can with it. He's like, okay, all right, I'll do what I can. So there he goes and he puts everything together. He has the dirt together. They take pictures of they're telling everyone who is in NASA, we're taking pictures for this book, a commemorative book for the moon landing. Mm-hmm. When actually they're taking pictures because they have to reenact everything that's happening. So they're doing like the measurements of everything. Mm-hmm. So like they're getting scrap metal, making the spaceship. When all of this is going on, it is a little bit of a love interest thing between Kelly and Cole, of course. Mm-hmm. And it's how they ended up doing it and how you can tell that it was actually not, it was actually the moon landing being televised and not the reenactment. Okay. Is funny, hilarious. Okay. But I love it. I do love how they put that together. Okay. But it ends up being something that is like literally a legit part of history that you would never have known. Like,
So they try to be as accurate as possible to what really happened.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Like the first thing about Omega watches, and they had all of the astronauts wearing Omega watches. Why? Because they need the money. So Omega was like, hey,
we'll sponsor it.
We'll sponsor Tang for the best breakfast drink on the moon. It was that. It was Fruit of the Loom. It was so many other things that were like, we want to be there. I want to be like, we are the, like, so there could be like Captain Crunch, the only cereal that's been in space. Something like that. So I just like the way that it was.
Same with movies today. There's some movies where everybody has an iPhone because Apple has paid to be able to be in certain movies.
That's very true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's, I just like how it was all put together. It's very cute, very nice. And it's part of history. So I can't like, I feel like
I didn't know it was based on a true story. I thought that it was like, just based on the rumors, this is what they're doing.
Yes. That's what it is. I think that's what it is.
So based on the rumors, this is what they're doing, but no one has ever admitted 100%.
This is top secret.
That it was, that parts of it that were shown were fake.
No, none of it that was shown was fake.
Not.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They made the reenactment video in case
they couldn't
have the in case. So while Buzz Aldrin is like small step for man,
one giant leap for mankind.
Yeah. So while he's saying and all doing all of that, the fake astronauts have earpieces in, and somebody's looking at a screen saying, "Okay, now take a step down, and take a left foot step down.
Got it.
All right, and jump." So and then they're seeing what's happening. They're telling the person what's happening, but it's gotten to the point that they have on their screen. They have one screen that shows the reenactment, and one screen that's showing what the TV is showing, which is supposed to be the real thing. And they're just like, "Wait, is this us, or is this
is that the real thing?"
It's like, is this us? Because it wasn't like they recorded it and then they played it. No,
live.
This was all live. So now you have two live streams that's going. You have two live streams, and it's just up to the government to figure out, okay, so now we're just going to unplug here and plug into here. It's like that. So it was a whole thing, but I thought it was kind of cool. Like that it is the most known, unknown reenactment / real moon landing in the world. Yeah.
There you go. All right.
And the whole reason that they wanted to do this, because we got to beat the Soviets.
Yes,
we got to beat the Soviets.
100%. That was the whole thing.
The thing that did make me mad, and this is the last thing I want to say. The thing that did make me mad was that there were politicians that were like, well, we're actually trying to vote towards feeding, like we just had a really bad storm come through in like Louisiana. So we're trying to get our money together to go into feeding, the people who are out of their homes.
No, we got.
And then because Kelly Jones was such a great marketing specialist, she ended up getting them to go ahead and put their money towards the moon landing. So screw those people. We got to beat Russia.
Yeah, this is more important right now.
Yes. But yeah, like I said, it is called Fly Me to the Moon. It is on Apple Plus. Check it out.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I just wanted to quickly say that 2 events happened this week, and I don't know if you're aware of them. One is that someone pulled a Tesla up in front of Trump Towers and blew it up, which I was like, of all things to drive and blow up, the Tesla truck is like bulletproof and everything else proof and all of that, and it's supposed to be. So it seems like if you put explosives in there to blow up, that it's not going to do any damage, because if that was your intent. Because of the fact
it was their intent. You can tell.
It seems like it was. They said the person did kill themselves before
Did you see the back of the truck?
Yeah. I mean, but I guess my thing is
explosive and flammable stuff.
Yeah, it was fireworks, they said.
Oh, fireworks.
Yeah,
but it was like containers, like it looked like kerosene and gas containers that you would take.
But the truck itself is supposed to be sold on the fact that it is indestructible. So then for it to put all that inside an indestructible truck to then think that it's going to destruct and cause damage, to me just was a little counterintuitive. But maybe if they had gotten the regular Tesla car as opposed to Tesla truck.
I don't know, but I mean the Tesla,
not that I'm trying to condone the damage. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that this is the thought process you can tell of the person who did this wasn't.
Maybe that's what they had. It was a Tesla truck.
Maybe so, yeah. But basically, they were like, it seems like it's a double message, because of the connections, of course. Yeah, of course. And then the other thing is, of course, our prayers and thoughts and everything going to everyone down in New Orleans.
Yes, that is true.
In regards to the person who plowed through, unfortunately, a crowd of people who were just trying to celebrate New Year's Eve.
Now, you know what? This is now the third time that I've heard of, since Christmas, this is the third time that I've heard of a vehicle plowing through either parade or a group of people.
Oh, really?
Something happened in Germany. There was a police. There were
police. Yeah, somebody was saying that. Yeah, this is happening all over the world.
The police were not in Germany, but I know that the police were in. I can't remember where it was at. But they were doing their parade and they're going around in circles, and then one of them just loses control, hits the throttle, and it hits like 6 people.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's something that's been happening, and maybe we should not drive cars anymore.
Oh goodness, I don't think that's going to happen. But they did say that the suspect for the New Orleans driving situation, I don't even know what we call it, but he actually had recently become an Islamic radicalist, I guess.
Okay.
His brother has come out and spoken to that as well and said that in the last year he's gotten really radicalized by Islam, and therefore his brother even thinks that it was more than likely brainwashing that had him to do a terrorist kind of activity. So on that note, I just wanted to, mention some situations that had taken place this year so far, and it's only the beginning,
exactly.
Unfortunately. But I hope that everybody is going to have an amazing 2025.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that we are going to, deal with everything. Hopefully all the worst will happen early, and then we'll just be at the point of being ready for all the good that's going to come, right?
That is true. We shall see. Let's hope.
Yep,
for the best.
Let's hope. So everybody, that is it for this week's episode of Sestra-Tainment. Have an amazing week, everyone. Take care.
Bye.